Welcome to Boys Town. It's a cold, snowy day today at Boys Town. Perfect day to talk about Christmas. And Christmas is really important at Boys Town. And part of our Christmas celebration here are our Boys Town choir. And our choir for many decades represented Boys Town around the world and across the United States in singing concerts. And at Christmas time, they would do special events here in the village of Boys Town, which we still do today. And today I'm going to talk about a special event that took place over 60 years ago. That's when an album was recorded here in the village of Boys Town with the Everly Brothers, a special Christmas album. And I'd like to talk a little bit about our choir before that to give you a background, because Father Flanagan loved music and he wanted the boys singing, and he learned that in his home in Ireland in a little town called Ballymoe. His family would sing almost every evening, so he loved to have music in his home. So when he created Boys Town, he brought in Monsignor Schmidt, one of the top choir directors in the United States, to organize our Boys Town choir, and it turned it into like a Vienna Boy Choir type of quality choir that traveled again across America, around the world. But they started to perform, and their performances were broadcast on television. This is an image in front of our Dowd Catholic Chapel. You can see the TV crew there filming it, because Christmas Eve Mass from Boys Town first was broadcast live over national radio and then eventually over national television. And then from there, our choir's reputation really grew. And the boys would get all dressed up in their special choir robes and their red bows. And you can see CBS Radio was broadcasting that Christmas event from Boys Town. So Christmas was always important to us, and music, again, was very important to it. And Father Flanagan in 1946 designed a new building here on campus called our Boys Town Music Hall. And this is an image of the outside of the music hall, and I'm going to show you some more images of it here soon, because this was a special structure that Father Flanagan wanted here on campus, so they could have a movie shown for the kids and plays put on, but more importantly, it'd be a stage for our choir to perform both in our Catholic chapel and then also in this special building. And we have a great picture here of Monsignor Wagner, our director in the 1950s, who promoted a choir, and he's in the choir loft with our boys, showing all the different boys that participated in our choir program. They were children of all different races and religions, because that was Father Flanagan's emphasis. All children were welcome at Boys Town, and our choir reflected that, of all the different children who lived here at Boys Town. And we have some special items I'd like to show you from the archives, talking about our music hall and the creation of the Everly Brothers album, with the Christmas album with Boys Town. This is a unique picture, beautiful picture. It's of our music hall when it first completed. Father Flanagan designed it. It could seat around 800 people, had special sound system in there, and more importantly, Father Flanagan envisioned recording albums there, and that's exactly what they would do with the Everly Brothers in 1962. Now, on the outside of the building, there's a relief, and it's a beautiful relief. It was done by an artist who worked at Rockefeller Center. And in the middle, there's an angel, and it represents a homeless boy meeting an angel, and the angel bringing him to Father Flanagan and having a productive life at Boys Town. And they're beautiful. That's part of Father Flanagan's concept of having public art for the village of Boys Town. And then we have another side image of it. You can see the beautiful design on the side, the two crosses on the outside of the building too, reflecting the fact that this is a spiritual center for the children also. And then the inside, again, you can see the stage, and this is the stage where they actually recorded the album back over 60 years ago. And this is the choir that recorded the album with the Everly Brothers. There's the boys there at the music hall. We had several choirs, and this was called our concert choir, and then we had other choirs that performed at Boys Town. But this is the choir that would represent Boys Town across the United States, and the boys would tell fantastic stories of visiting towns and cities and the experiences they had, meeting people and performing, and they just loved it. And then we actually have a rare image of the album actually being recorded itself. Right here in the corner is Monsignor Schmidt, our great choir director, and this is the crew from Warner Records that was sent out to record the album. And they're sitting in our music hall next to our stage. Father Flanagan built a recording studio so the boys could record their albums right here in the village of Boys Town, which they did all the way up to the 1970s. And this, again, is a rare image that we're so happy that we have here. And from our archives, we have a little newspaper article from our Boys Town Times talking about the recording of the album. And it says how the Everly Brothers came out for several days and stayed here in the village of Boys Town and recorded the album with the Boys Town Choir. And it was a great experience for our boys to participate with the Everly Brothers. And then it was great for the people from Warner Brothers to visit Boys Town and actually see the village of Boys Town. And here we have our albums that our choir have recorded over the years. Our very first one in 1949. And then this is the actual album itself from 1962. And this is fantastic artwork that was created showing the Everly Brothers in back our Boys Town choir. And they performed on just about every song on the album except for 2. And it was a great, again, experience for our boys to participate with the Everly Brothers. And the album here on the back lists all the different music that was performed and some other beautiful art that we have connected to the album itself. And again, music is so important to us here at Boys Town. We still have our special concerts and choirs at Christmas time. And in the Hall of History Museum behind me, we actually have a display case. And in our display case, we have the assortment of the albums that were recorded by our Boys Town choir, from recordings on radio stations from Columbia, some of the performances that they did, some of the brochures from those souvenir programs. And right in the middle, we have our Everly Brothers album cover, because that was so important to us, to our history, to have that album recorded here and participate with the Everly Brothers. And if you come and visit the Hall of History, you can see this display here. In our Hall of History, we actually have some representations of our choir members here. They're right here. These are 2 little guys here, dressed as our choir from the 1950s and 60s. These are actually boys that were here at Boys Town 30 years ago. We made life masks of their faces with their hands. They're so detailed, there's fingerprints on their hands. And this is part of the special display here we have talking about our choir here at Boys Town. And I want to thank you today for joining us here, talking about the 60th anniversary of this special album being created here in the village of Boys Town. We have a special treat here in the museum. We actually have a little snippet of the choir itself singing with the Everly Brothers, and so you can we'll close out with that. And thank you for visiting Boys Town today.